Christian fundamentalists Karen and Michael Diehl were unusual parents. They traveled around America in a converted school bus with their family of 4 natural children and 13 adopted children. They had decided deliberately to adopt children who were considered unadoptable. In September 1986, the bus arrived at a campsite in Virginia Beach, Virginia at the mouth of Chesapeake Bay. On October 24, police and paramedics received an urgent call from the Diehl school bus. When the police arrived, they found one of the adopted children, 13-year-old Andrew, in a condition of cardiac arrest. The father stated the boy had been walking in the aisle of the bus when he collapsed and struck his head, possibly on the edge of the bunk bed or on a box on the floor. The boy's heart would stabilize and he was rushed unconscious to hospital. There the doctors discovered that his bare buttocks and left eye was bruised. His lower lip was cut. His ankles and feet and wrists were blistered and swollen, and his torso and limbs were covered with multiple scars. A scan of his brain revealed a large subdural hematoma, a pool of blood between the skull and the brain on the upper right side of the head, and massive swelling of the brain itself. After 5 days in a coma, the young boy would die. An autopsy recorded a large red and yellow bruise on the top of his head. There were no cuts in the scalp or any fracture of the skull. But on opening the skull, he found the large bulging pool of blood that had been detected in the scan. He also noted that the brain had softened and shifted to the left, that there were also contusions and dead tissue in several areas. The boy had a very low blood platelet count, which is why the hemorrhage had refused to clot, so the cause of death was concluded as head injuries due to blows to the head, and the marks on the wrists as the boy being bound, contusions on the boy's buttocks from being whipped, and many more injuries to his chest from being hit with objects. The parents were arrested and charged with child neglect, assault, abduction and murder. Inquiries revealed that the Diehls had regularly beaten the children with wooden paddles. Andrew had apparently lacked discipline and would wet the bed, so he was made to sleep naked in a rubber matting with his wrists handcuffed. On the 22nd of October, Karen had hit him on the top of the head with the paddle. On the 24th of October, she had bathed him and noticed his feet were swollen. He had trouble walking. She would help him walk, but in a split second he would fall and cut his lip. She left him there where he fell for a few moments, then noticing he was unconscious and his breathing was irregular, after 45 minutes of this she decided to call an ambulance. In the court hearing, the medical examiner explained he believed it was not caused by a fall but by blood force trauma. The prosecutor then asked the medical examiner to take the paddle and demonstrate the degree of force that had been used, and as many as 3 blows had been delivered to that boy's head. Karen was found guilty of manslaughter and Michael was convicted of first-degree murder. Mrs. Diehl was sentenced to 10 years in prison and Michael was sentenced to 41 years in prison. The rest of the children were put into foster care.